Hello. I'm just getting things set up here. Can you all see my screen and hear me okay? I think there should be a chat box that you can type in there. Does everyone, yay, Tanya, you say you see me, great. Can you all hear me okay as well? See and hear, great, good. Just gonna give us a minute here to let anyone who's trying to log on, and then we will start and get into the masterclass. I know that there were some of you that had said that maybe you'd have to leave sooner or signed up and you'll be late. So I am going to be recording the masterclass so you can have the replay if you do need to sign off before we're done. My goal is to get through everything in about 60 minutes, but I also want to give you a chance to ask some questions at the end, specifically centered around your own brand and website. So yeah, we're just going to play it by ear a little bit and see what we get through. Let's see. Okay, I just took my screen away. There we go. Okay. Oops. I haven't yet done a screen share like this before, so excuse me if the screen, yeah, it takes me a little bit to get the screen sort of things figured out here, but okay, great. I'm so glad that you all are here. I'm really excited about this masterclass in talking with so many of, even some of you, I think, over in DMs on Instagram. I found that a lot of you were struggling with the same things and making similar mistakes. And so I really wanted to put together a class that helped to address some of those and then also gave you sort of all of the essentials that that you really need in order to ensure that your website is driving profit into your business. So yeah, 10 website essentials for every creative entrepreneur. These are essentials that no matter what type of business you have or what stage or season of business you're in, these 10 essentials are just that. They are essential to your success online. So let's get into it. I am handing you the ingredients list today. That is my goal, to give you all of the ingredients that you need in order to yeah, make sure that your website is as profitable as it possibly can be. So think of these 10 essentials as, yeah, just ingredients to yeah, all put together and get to that end goal that we're all looking for in our online spaces. Oops. So the recipe for success is equal parts aesthetics and equal parts strategies. Now, most of you are creatives, and so that's likely, aesthetics is likely going to be the most natural approach for you. You have an eye for beautiful things, you have a desire to create beautiful things, you have businesses and brands that are centered around beauty and art. And so that is an incredible advantage that you have because aesthetics does matter and it contributes to that overall brand success. But you can't stop there. You also have to have strategy. Pretty does not automatically mean profitable. I really want you to remember that today. Pretty does not automatically mean profitable. You have to approach every single decision that you make on your website strategically. So you have to be mindful about what are the things that what is the content that's going on my website? What is the imagery that I'm putting out there? How is the flow and the user experience on my website? That all comes down to this strategy. And so equal parts aesthetics and strategies. That is the recipe for success on your website. My goal today is to bring you the strategy. Like I said, so many of you as creative entrepreneurs, you have an eye for beauty. You have the aesthetic, but you don't necessarily have the strategy. And so that's what I'm going to be bringing to the table today for you. And while these 10 essentials, the must-haves for your website aren't necessarily these magic money makers on their own, they are going to massively impact things like your bounce rate, conversions, and the ability that you have as a brand online to speak directly to your ideal client. And before you ask, yes, you need all 10 of these. There's no cutting corners. Okay, before we get into the 10 essentials that you must have on your website, I want you to actually write this down. Write it on a Post-it, write it as a note on your phone, whatever it is. Pretty doesn't mean profitable, because as you go through each of these essentials and as you edit your site or manage your website or even think about a template or customizing your website, you're going to be tempted to just choose the thing that is most attractive. But you have to look at it through the lens of profitability. And so I want you to remember, as you edit your site, as you implement these 10 essentials on your site, as you consider which template you may want to purchase, which designer you're going to work with to customize your site, remember that pretty doesn't mean profitable. Pretty is important and necessary, but it doesn't mean profitable unless there are strategies that back the aesthetics that are going into that site. So write it on a Post-it, remember it, come back to it every time you're tempted to just do something because, oh, that looks so pretty. You want it to look pretty, but you also want it to make you money online. So here's the goal, okay? 3 parts. 1, get visitors to stay on your website longer. 2, convert browsers into buyers. And 3, increase your return rate. Okay, the goal of your website is to get people onto your website and to stay there. You don't want someone coming to your website, landing on the homepage, staying there for maybe a minute, and then leaving your site. You don't want someone coming to your website, looking at your portfolio, and then leaving. You want people to get on your site, and you want them to stay there as long as possible. Secondly, you want them to convert into actual clients who pay you money. You don't just want people who are on your site and exploring everything that you have to offer and never have someone work with you or purchase your product. You want to convert those people who are browsing your site into actual clients and buyers. And then you want to ensure that they're going to come back to your site. You're going to want to make sure that you're having content that is valuable enough for them that they find reasons to continually come back to your website. So that's the goal. Short and sweet, get visitors to stay on your website longer, convert browsers into buyers, and increase your return rate. And the 10 essentials that I'm going to provide you with today are going to help you meet those goals. So you ready? We're going to get into the 10 things. I'm just going to give you a really quick overview of these 10 things. Obviously, I could talk on a lot of them at a much deeper level, but I just want to give you the main things that are going to have the most impact for you as you implement them into your strategy and onto your websites. So first, Google Analytics ID. If you have the comment box, type in the comment box whether or not you are already using and tracking data on your website through Google Analytics. I'll open my chat box here so I can see if I can find it here. Where's my chat box? Let me know if you are using Google Analytics to track your data. Here's the thing. You cannot understand your customers, your ideal clients, or the visitors that you're having on your website without data. You cannot understand them. And if you don't understand them, you cannot shape a successful strategy to reach them, okay? It's so important that you have the data that is necessary in order to strategize and come up with a plan that will intentionally meet their needs and speak to them directly. So if Google Analytics is sort of overwhelming for you, intimidating for you, you're not sure where to begin, I would highly suggest just Googling it. They have so much information just on their site about what Google Analytics is meant to provide for you. Depending on the website host or platform that you use, the way that you upload that ID code into your site may look differently. Personally, with Showit, which is the website platform that I design on. They have made it very easy and very simple to upload your ID onto your site. And if you are a Showit user and you would love a tutorial on how to add the Google Analytics ID onto your Showit site, let me know and I will send you over a walkthrough tutorial of how to do that. But point being that if you don't have a Google Analytics ID set up, you need to set one up today, and then you need to hook it up to your website host. Here's what you need to be tracking on your website, okay? Google Analytics is going to track a lot of things. Here's the 3 that you really need to focus on. First, your bounce rate. Your bounce rate is the percentage of visitors who navigate away from the site after viewing only one page. So remember I said before, we don't want someone coming to our site, looking at the homepage, and then leaving. If they leave, that's the bounce, okay? They're bouncing out of our website. Track your bounce rate. Secondly, traffic sources. This is basically going to give you an overview of the different kinds of sources that are sending traffic to your website. So, is your website being trafficked? Are people getting to your website through Google search engines? Are they getting there through posts that you're sharing on Instagram, through Facebook, through Pinterest? You need to know exactly where they're coming from so that you can maximize your marketing on those channels, okay? If you're putting all of your effort into Facebook, but the most people are finding you through Instagram, then you really need to rework your marketing strategy and put more of your effort into Instagram, right? Because Instagram is funneling the most traffic to your site. Third, you need to focus on your conversion rate. Track your conversion rate. This is probably the most important in my opinion. The conversion rate is the percentage of visitors to your website that complete a desired goal. A desired goal being a conversion out of the total number of visitors. So out of everyone who comes to your website over the course of 30 days, how many of them are actually hiring you? How many of them are actually buying a product? How many of them are downloading your freebie? How many of them are subscribing to your email list? That is your conversion rate. Can you see how important all 3 of these are to ensuring that the strategy is actually working for you? You cannot understand your clients. You cannot understand what's working for you, what's working against you on your website without having this data. So what I want you to do after you have your Google Analytics ID set up is I want you to, after a week of it being set up so it can get some data in there, I want you to write down where your numbers are as of now, okay? Write down what your bounce rate is, your traffic sources are, and your conversion rate currently. And then after you implement all of the strategies that I'm gonna share with you today, I want you to come back after you've implemented them and check in on your data again and see if your bounce rate decreases and your traffic sources become even more clear and your conversion rate increases. I want you to be able to track this to see and understand what is working for you. Okay, secondly, you need a clear brand statement, okay? You must have this. You must have this. And your brand statement, which we're gonna get into in a minute, what that actually is, but your brand statement needs to be above the fold on your homepage. Let's talk about that for a second. Above the fold basically means on the part of a screen before someone has to scroll. Okay, the idea comes from a newspaper. And when a newspaper is folded over, what do you see on the top above the fold? You see the headlines. You see the main thing that they're wanting to compel you and help you to see that this is actually something you want to read. This is actually something you want to buy. This is something that's going to interest you. They put that in big headliner form above the fold of the newspaper. So the same goes for your website. Before someone has to scroll on your homepage, on your website, that is above the fold. Your brand statement needs to live there, okay? It needs to also include several of your high-ranking SEO keywords, okay? SEO stands for search engine optimization. When people are looking for you through a search engine, if they're Googling and looking for you, Google is going to be able to look at the content on your site and pull keywords to match their search. So you want to ensure that in your brand statement, you have as many high-ranking SEO keywords as possible, okay? If you don't know what those keywords are, then I suggest you download a Google Chrome extension called Keywords Everywhere. And that's gonna help you understand what keywords people are looking for when they're looking for someone in your industry. Okay, so let's get on to the 3 things that your brand statement must answer. Must answer. Who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Now you get bonus points if you can also include in there the transformation you provide. Now remember, this is above the fold of your website, and it's so important to have this there because people, when they land on your site, need to know immediately who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, so that they can continue experiencing the content on your site and be assured that they are in the right place. So let's look at a few examples here. Here's one. I help women ditch their boring websites for a website that actually makes them money. Now, this is not my brand statement. It's a brand statement of another website designer that I pulled. And I want you to see the answers to our questions here. Who is she? A website designer. That's pretty clear. What does she do? Not only does she design websites, but she designs exciting websites. And who does she do that for? Women in business. And then she did actually include the transformation she provides. She helps them make money. Do you see how effective that is in just one sentence? Let's look at another one. I help creative entrepreneurs make more money with your words so you can lean into your calling and leave your legacy. Do you know right away what she does, who she is, the transformation that she provides? Who is she? She's a copywriter. She works with words. What does she do? She writes words that actually sell. She writes words that help you make more money. Who does she do it for? Creative entrepreneurs. I help creative entrepreneurs. And then what is the transformation that she provides? She helps them to do what they're called to do and to leave a legacy. Clear, concise, to the point, answering all of the key questions that we need to for especially a first-time visitor. Another one, Trish Allison is a luxury photographer with the privilege of capturing marriage and motherhood through timeless and joyful images. Let me ask you, who is she? Not only is she Trish Allison, but she is a luxury photographer. She's clarifying who she is, what she does. What does she do? Not only does she just take photos, but she takes photos of marriage and motherhood. She does marriage and motherhood photography. Who does she do that for? Brides and mothers. And then what is the transformation she provides? That she gives you images that are timeless and brings you joy. Do you see how this formula can be really impactful? Who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Okay, using this formula, it's your turn. Write your own brand statement in the comments. If you see the comment box there, give it a go. It doesn't have to be perfect. You will likely want to work on and refine this brand statement, but I want you to, while it's fresh in your mind, clearly answer those 3 questions. Who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. I'll give you a minute to write those in the comments, and then we will check them out together. Can you all see why this formula is so important? Okay, great. Anemone is a contemporary London-based wedding planning, design, and styling studio. We specialize in design-led weddings with an artistic elegance for stylish couples. So great. You're telling me who you are, what you do. You specialize in design-led weddings, and you do it for stylish couples. Perfect. That's fantastic. I love that you included also London-based. This is also important. If you are a service provider or your shop is specific to a location, then you really should be doing all that you can to include that location somewhere in your brand statement as well. Great, loving it. Keep working on those and we'll continue to number 3. A clear navigation system. A clear navigation system. Why does it matter? Why does your navigation system matter? It is how you intentionally guide the visitor through your website, okay? Think of your navigation system as a table of contents, okay? If there was a book and it didn't have a table of contents that was predetermined for you, that book would be really confusing, right? Because maybe you'd read the wrong chapters in the wrong order and you wouldn't actually understand what the writer was trying to tell you. Your navigation system is how you intentionally guide the visitor through your website, okay? You do not want to confuse them. You do not want to confuse them. You also do not want to give them too many options, okay? If you have a navigation system and you have every single page of your website linked in your main navigation system, then that's too many, okay? That's too many options and they're not going to know where to go first. It's going to be very overwhelming for them. Secondly, you don't want to confuse them by giving them too many options. By not writing clearly what the pages are, you are confusing them, okay? I think a lot of times we feel like we just need to have all of our content up in the main navigation system, easy and ready for them to access. That's not actually the case. We can get more creative and ensure that the pages that we're linking up in our main navigation system are really clear and helpful in guiding them through the experience that we want them to have when they are on our website. So now is the time to remember 2 things. 1, that less is more. Less is more. You don't need every single page that exists on your website to be in your main navigation system. Secondly, clear trumps clever. Okay, I know that as creatives especially, we want to try to be as creative and clever as possible in our navigation system. So maybe we're going to say things like, let's chat, or do my journal, or something like that. But that is actually not helping us. It is clever, it is creative, but it's not necessarily always clear. So you want to write words in your navigation system that are as clear as possible. Less is more, clear, clever. So if we are talking about, let's say, a service provider, most likely you're going to want to break down your navigation system as your home page, about page, service page, portfolio, blog, and contact. Okay? You may have a shop, you may have a few different key pieces that you maybe need to include in your main navigation, but for the most part, these are the pages that I would highly suggest having in your main navigation system, and these are the words that I would use, okay? So instead of saying meet Meg, I'm gonna say about. Instead of saying read my journal, I'm gonna say blog. Instead of saying chat with me, I'm going to say contact. Do you see how these are really clear and straightforward? No one is going to doubt or guess exactly where that, when they click on that, what that page is going to, the content that's going to be on that page. Does this make sense to everyone? Is this something that you struggle with? Do you feel like you have to put everything in your main navigation system? Let me know if that's something that you feel like you struggle with. Okay, here's another brand statement that came. Levin Provence is a full-service wedding planning and design company specializing in destination weddings in the south of France for a discerning clientele. Perfect. You're telling me that you do wedding planning and design. You specialize in destination weddings. You tell me where you do that, the south of France. You tell me who you do it for, which is discerning clientele. Perfect. Love it. Tanya, I encourage women to unlock their inner creativity and build a more meaningful life. I teach how to focus on a mindful daily practice to nurture an abundant mindset. Love it. Love it. That's so great. Maybe I would, so I encourage women. Yeah, you've said it. That's great. Good. Okay, let's get to number 4, enough copy. If you're a photographer or a videographer even, this is likely something that you struggle with because you have a lot of beautiful imagery to work with, and sometimes you're replacing copy with imagery. On your site though, you need to have enough copy, okay? I want to show you an example here. This is a website for a dear friend of mine, Katya Limi, and I'm actually doing her site right now, and I want to show you the before of her home page, okay? So before we work together, this is her home page. She, as you can see, is an incredibly talented photographer. However, on her home page, she only had imagery and then a very short brand statement. Does anyone know why this is problematic? If there are no words on your pages, if your website does not have enough copy, yes, Katie, Google cannot crawl it. Google cannot crawl it. You cannot be found, okay? So let's compare it with the site that I am building for her now. Sorry that it's a little bit blurry. I'm not sure why. But do you see the difference? We still have high impact imagery, but we also have headlines. We also have subheadings. We also have paragraphs structured appropriately with actual words, with copy, okay? You cannot be found by search engines. I really want you to understand this. Google needs enough copy on your website to analyze so that they can recognize what you do and rank you for it. So if someone is over on Google and they're searching for someone who provides the service that you provide, you are not going to rank in that search if you do not have the copy for Google to find you by, if you do not have the copy for Google to analyze. You must have enough copy on your website. Okay, especially your homepage. Your homepage is crucial for you to have copy, 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 copy. Your ideal client should land on your site, okay, on your homepage, and they should think right away, she's my people, okay? And that cannot happen if you do not have messaging, if you do not have copy. So not only are you not going to rank in a search, but you're also not going to be able to attract your ideal client or speak to them, okay? You have to communicate to them through words, and they're going to be able to find that they resonate with you once they start seeing the copy that you have on your site. So your client should land on your site and they should think, she's my people. They're gonna see your imagery, yep, she's my people. They're gonna read your copy, yes, she's my people. You need to have enough copy so that Google can find you and so that your ideal clients can connect with you. 5, you need to have a photo of you that makes eye contact. This is really, really important. And I know that a lot of us are shy and a lot of us are going to hesitate to want to put a photo of us, let alone one that makes eye contact on the homepage or about page or on our site. But you must have this. You must have this. Not only must you have this on your website, at least one photo of you looking straight into the camera, but it must be on your homepage and on your about page, okay? You should have multiple photos of yourself throughout your site, but you must have a photo of you looking straight into the camera, making that eye contact on your homepage and your about page. Oops, can you guys see that? I don't know what that line is there. Did y'all just see that? Let me see if I can go back. That's so funny. Okay, there, I think I got it away. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Okay, so let's compare these two photos. This is a lovely friend. I just did a website review for her. And the first photo on the left-hand side was on her homepage. And the second photo on the right-hand side was on her about page. Which photo do you think is most impactful? Which photo do you think would help you as a prospective client to feel connected to her? Which one? 1 or 2? 2, yes, 2, because she is making eye contact with you. Now, the first photo is lovely, and I still want to see that photo somewhere on her site. But the photo of her making eye contact, that is 1,000 times better when it comes to creating that instant connection with me as a browser. So the photo with eye contact, that is the photo that you need to be putting on your homepage and on your about page. And if you want to have other photos where you're looking somewhere else or you're kind of in movement, if you want to include those throughout the other pages on your site or in subsequent canvases on a page, that's fine, that's great. I still love that photo. But the photo of her making eye contact is so much more impactful. Let's look at Jenna Kutcher. A lot of you are probably familiar with Jenna Kutcher. Here's a canvas from her homepage. Notice that every single photo that she has posted there, she's making eye contact. Now she has different poses and she's doing different things in each of the photos, but every single photo she's looking directly into the camera, making eye contact with you. Do you see how it helps to build the like, know, and trust factor that someone needs in order to feel connected to you as a brand and in order to want to work with you? Do you see how important it is to have a photo with you looking straight into the camera on your homepage, on your about page? Hopefully you can see how valuable that is and be inspired to ensure that you have a photo of you looking straight into the camera, making that eye contact that's so vital on your website. Okay, number 6, you must have reviews and social proof on your website. You must have this. Reviews and social proof are digital gold, okay? If you're just starting out and you don't necessarily have reviews, get creative. What can you provide for free for someone in exchange for a review, okay? Who can you reach out to that you have served in the past, whether it was in a professional capacity or just as a friend or family member, and they're able to speak to the quality of your work and what the experience of working with you was like. Wherever you can get those reviews and social proof, you need to get them, and you need to get them on your websites. Let's look at one canvas that I found here of a review. And I want you to think through the formatting of this review with me, okay? Beautiful, beautiful layout. Sweet words, testimonials. You have the paragraph there of what this particular client had to say. Really lovely formatting. Is it pretty? Yes, yes. But I want you to remember here that for just as pretty as this canvas is, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's working. Okay, I want to show you another example. Look at this one. Which one do you think works better? Which format do you think produces the most conversions? Number 1 or number 2? The second one. Yes, this one. Can anyone tell me, just off the top of your head, why do you think that is? Why do you think the second one here works better than the first one, even though this one is really beautiful? Yes, too much text and you didn't read hardly any of it. Too much text and you didn't hardly read any of it. Here's what I really want you to take away from this. Whenever you do use a review on your site, okay, you need to look through, because most of the time you're going to get a review that's 5, 6, 7, you're going to get a paragraph of a review, which is fantastic. That's so great that your clients have such great things to say about you. But when someone is scrolling through your site, okay, if I was scrolling through a site, what is the thing that I actually see and remember when I scroll past this canvas? Sweet words. That's what I see and that's what I remember. Versus if I'm scrolling, the thing that I see and remember here is, wow, KT's style is inherently feminine, dreamy, and romantic. She creates photographs that are not only inspiring and beautiful, but makes her subjects look their absolute best. Do you see how this formatting is working so much better than the previous formatting for someone who is quickly scanning. People are going to be scanning your site, okay? They're not going to be reading every single word that is on your site. They're not going to be reading every single word in that review. So you want to leave them with the most impactful statement out of that entire review as possible. So a few things that you can do is increase the font size, okay? Do you see how much larger this font size is in the review than this font size? Increase the font size. Play with the typography. There is so much typography going on here. There's a font style that tells you a font style for the actual review, a font style for the person who left that review, a font style for who this person is. By having those different fonts, the different scale, the different size of it, it's all helping you actually read and understand the value behind that review. So on your sites, if you currently have big chunks of paragraphs, you need to go through there and you need to pull out what is the most impactful statement in this whole review. You need to increase it, you need to bold it, you need to restructure it and reformat it so that when someone is scrolling, they're able to see, wow, she has the social proof that I'm looking for and I am interested in working with her. Again though, this one was pretty, okay? Your reviews on your website right now, it may look really pretty, but I want you to approach it with a different perspective. Not only is it pretty, but it's also profitable. This one, right? It's not, it is pretty, it is profitable, it is working for them. So you don't have to sacrifice pretty for profitable, but you have to make sure that you have both. Yeah, we want pretty and profitable all the time. Another thing I want you to think about with this is you must weave reviews and social proof throughout your entire site, okay? If you're only posting reviews to your service page or you're only posting reviews to its own separate testimonials page, you're not doing enough. Remember, reviews and social proof are digital gold. They need to be scattered, woven, sprinkled throughout every page of your site. Every single page should have a review or a social proof, okay? Now they may all be formatted a little bit differently, but you need to have them there. 7, you must have call to action buttons. Call to action buttons. If you do not call people to action, they will not take action. Do you understand that? If you do not call people to action, if you do not tell them what to do, they're not going to do it, okay? Now I know that for a lot of us, we sit here and think, well, it's obvious that after reading that, they would want to contact me. It's obvious that after reading that, they should go and read this blog post. It's not obvious, okay? You have to get that out of your mindset when it comes to your website strategy and design. It is not obvious. You need to call people to action. You need to call them to action or else they will not take action. Here are some examples. I just pulled several buttons, okay? If your site does not have buttons, links, calls to action like these throughout every page of your site, then you're not calling people to action enough, okay? You need to have a clear call to action telling people what to do next, where to click. And it needs to stand out, okay? So these ones in particular with the red background, the teal background, easy to find, easy for me to see. That is a link that I must click in order to see more resources, get the free download, whatever it might be. Someone had asked if there was like a special number of call to action buttons that you should have on your pages, on your website. There is not, but this is a time where there is never going to be too many, okay? You're hardly ever going to have too many call to action buttons on a page. So if you think that you don't have enough, put more there, okay? If you think that you have too many, you probably have just enough. Does that make sense? So after a blurb about you, there should be a call to action for them to go to the about page and learn more about you. After you're talking about the services that you provide, there should be a link, a call to action under each of those to learn more. If you have a free download, there needs to be a button about the free download. If you want people to view your portfolio, there needs to be a button that's calling them to action. View the portfolio. Okay. Also take notice, in many of these buttons, they're using a verb. Okay. Download, listen, get, meet, view, see, reserve. They're calling people to action. You are literally telling people what to do. Okay. Super important. Number 8, mobile friendly. Your website must be mobile friendly. And I want to ask you, whoops, gave you the answer, but do you know how many users are getting their first impression of your brand just on their phones? How many of you, when you have found someone interesting to follow on Instagram, you're not logging on to their website from your desktop, but you're clicking the link in their profile and you are looking at their website on your phone? I'm going to take a drink here for a minute. Excuse me. Tell me yes or no in the comments below if you have made first impressions on a brand based on how their website is looking on your phone. Yes. Yes. That first impression is everything, okay? If they have a poor first impression of your brand, of your business, because your mobile design is not user-friendly, is not working well for you, if they have a poor first impression there, do you think they're going to go and log in on their desktop and look at your site? Would you do that? Probably not. Probably not. That first impression is everything. And I want you to really take this to heart. Over 60% of internet users access online content through mobile devices. That means every time you post a blog, they're reading it. Over 60% of people are reading it on their phones. Every time you update your portfolio and add more imagery there, add more work there, over 60% of internet users are accessing and viewing that on their phone. Your website must be mobile friendly. And if you are working with a website host or platform that does not allow you to have creative control over how your website is appearing on mobile devices, then you need to seriously consider moving your website off of that host or platform to one that actually allows you to have the freedom and the control that you need to customize your site for mobile devices. Now, Showit, which is, like I said before, the website platform host that I exclusively design all of my websites on, allows you to customize your site for desktop and for mobile devices. This is, for me, one of the most compelling reasons to work with Showit, because I want to ensure that if over 60% of the people that I am trying to reach are looking at my content and looking at my website on their phones, I want to make sure that they're looking at exactly what I want them to look at. I want to make sure that the design and the flow and the layout, I have complete control over. Do you guys see how important it is to ensure that your website is not just looking and working well on a desktop or on a laptop, but that it is working effectively and looking just as good on a phone? Can you see how important that is? Excuse me. Yes, yes, good. Okay, number 9. This is possibly one that I have found a lot of entrepreneurs are either unaware of or not sure how to get those contracts. You need to have proper contracts on your site. In fact, if you are in the US, I'm not sure, I can't speak to the laws that are overseas. There may be different ones, but if you are in the US, you are legally required to have a privacy policy contract and a terms and conditions contract. You're legally required to have both of those on your website. So if you do not have those, you must get those on your website. Not only is that helpful in so many other ways, and not only is that good to do because it is legally required, but by having a privacy policy and terms and conditions, you're establishing your credibility online. You're saying, I take this seriously and I'm credible. People are going to notice whether or not you have those privacy policies and terms and conditions in place. They are. And they're going to judge whether you are credible based on those things. Now, these two things I would link up in the footer of your website. Okay, they don't have to be like in your main navigation system or anywhere really front and center. Just link them up in the footer of your website. Have them on separate pages, link them up in the footer. I personally love getting my templates from a place called the Contract Shop. They basically offer templates that you can plug in your own specific information into the template. It's quick, easy, and very affordable. Very affordable. Do not let, I have to find a lawyer, or I have to, do not hide behind that, okay? You have easy access to all the contracts that you could need via the Contract Shop. She's actually running a sale, 20% off of templates and bundles through March 31st. And I also have a code that's going to save you even more. So if you are interested in getting those contracts and you do not currently have them, then I will, at the end of this, link it up here for you in the comments, so you can head over to the Contract Shop and make sure that you get both a privacy policy and a terms and conditions, and you can save a little bit if you get them before the end of the month. Let me know, how many of you have contracts on your website? How many of you don't? Is this something that you were aware of that was required? I'm just curious where you all sort of land with this. You don't and you weren't aware. Yeah. Yeah, so don't have any, but it may not be mandatory in France. Yeah, there may be different legalities for, in Europe, abroad, this sort of thing. Martha, you have them? Great. Yes, yes. If you have them, wonderful. If you don't have them and you weren't aware, nothing to feel bad about. Now you do know, and hopefully you have the access that you need in order to get those. Okay, lastly, number 10, a place to collect email addresses. Okay, you need to have a place on your website that collects email addresses. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. This is so important because, you guys, you do not own Instagram. You do not own Twitter. You do not own Facebook. You do not own Pinterest. So many things can change on those platforms. So many things. You do not want whatever changes elsewhere to impact what you're able to do in your business, okay? You want to still be able to communicate to your audience and to your ideal clients. You're still going to want to reach out to them and share your content with them. And you cannot do that if you do not have their email addresses. You cannot do that if you're not doing email marketing. Now, a lot of you are maybe, again, overwhelmed with the idea of what that looks like, or not sure how to even start doing that. Flowdesk is the answer to all of your problems. Flowdesk is a beautiful, beautiful email marketing platform. Super affordable. In fact, if you use my code, you're going to be able to get 50% off, and just total transparency, that makes it $19 a month, which is, to me, a no-brainer, okay? You need to have this on your website. You need to have a place where people are able to subscribe, to give you their email address, and you're able to follow up with really beautifully designed emails. Is this the same as ConvertKit? So it is the same in that it's an email marketing platform, but it's different in how it's structured and set up. Personally, I think Flowdesk is a lot more simpler to use and allows you some of that creative freedom that ConvertKit doesn't. But it is virtually, yeah, they're both meant to accomplish the same thing. Now, with this, you need to have an attractive offer, a freebie, and a reason for them to subscribe. If you are just saying, subscribe to my email list, they're probably not going to subscribe. If you're just saying, you know, you need to make it attractive. People are not going to hand over their email addresses to you and not know what they're receiving back. So you need to build an offer, create a freebie, give them a reason to subscribe. And you need to format that on your website in a way that's easy for them to find and see. However, you do not want this to be a pop-up on your homepage. Okay, a lot of times I have landed on homepages and there's a pop-up that says, you know, subscribe to my email list. Guess what? People are not ready to do that yet. When they are on your homepage, they are just getting to know you. They're just discovering and learning more about you. They are not ready or in the position yet to hand over their information to you. They want to be able to read the content you have first on your homepage and then decide if they would like to hand over their email address to you or not. So my suggestion would be to have this, if you want to have it as a pop-up, to have it pop up about 50% of the way down on your About page, okay? Do not have this as a pop-up on your homepage. You will not only lose people, people are gonna hop off of your site, but you're also not going to get people to respond to that. They're just going to X out of it so that they can continue to read and explore the content on your homepage. Okay, so here is the main thing I really, really want you to remember and walk away with today. Pretty gets prospective clients onto your website, but strategy gets them to buy. You need to be making money from your website. And if your website is not making you money, then it's not doing its job. Pretty gets prospective clients onto your website. We have to get them onto your website, okay? So you have to have the aesthetic. You have to have something that is really lovely and beautiful and pretty. But in order to get them from, you know, just looking at your site to actually buying from you, giving you their hard-earned money, that's going to take strategy. You're not a website designer. That's okay. That's why you showed up today here, and you are learning from me. I am a website designer, and you're going to be able to walk away today more empowered than ever to show up strategically online and to impact your bottom line. You don't have to be a website designer to put all of these essential ingredients into play. I have taught you how to do that, okay? You have the ingredients. You have everything that you need in order to be more strategic on your website and impact your bottom line. But if you're sitting there and you're thinking, wow, I feel like I've learned so much today about what actually goes into the strategy of a website that converts, that helps people to actually trust me. I feel like I've learned so much today, and yet I'm just scratching the surface. Then you're right. You're right. That is just scratching the surface, and I want to help you go even deeper. So I am launching 2 new services that are created to helping you bring personalized strategy to your brand and website. And I am sharing this exclusively with you today, giving you first access to these services before anyone else, because you have spent so much time with me here today, and I really want to help you go even deeper into the strategies that are either working or not working for you on your site. So 2 new services. You can either schedule a customized video review or book a one-to-one strategy session. The customized video review includes a discovery form that you can complete prior to the review to ensure that the review is 100% customized to your unique brand and business needs. So today we walked through 10 essentials that every entrepreneur needs to have on their website, no matter what your brand or business is. But through a customized video review, we'll go even deeper and break down all of the strategies that your specific brand and business needs to be implementing in order to be effective online. You'll also get an in-depth, laser-focused video recording that you'll be able to download of the review so that you can save it, watch it, replay it, and have that accessible to you. And in that video, you're going to get a strategic review of your website copy, your website imagery, the flow and design of your website, all with suggestions for improvement. And then you'll also have follow-up email support window where you can check in and ask questions on the things that you are editing, improving, and the strategy that you're implementing moving forward. So that's the customized video review, service option number 1. Service option number 2 is a one-to-one strategy session. This is a strategic review of your website copy, brand imagery, website flow and design with suggestions, as well as a review of your Instagram profile, your feed, your captions, your IG highlight content with suggestions. The reason this one includes your Instagram profile as well is because most of your website traffic is most likely coming from Instagram. And so we want to ensure that the experience and strategy that you're implementing on Instagram is seamless with the content and strategy that you're implementing on your website. So you'll get a strategic review of both your website and your Instagram, as well as a strategic review of your total brand identity. So we're going to look at your fonts, your color systems, and make sure that it's all working well for you. Again, you'll have a follow-up email window for support, and then you'll receive key suggestions and recommendations in written form after we've completed a strategy call listed in the order of most important. So this is a live chat, so we are going to be face-to-face, doing screen shares, talking through all of this strategy together. And then after the call, I will send you over key suggestions and recommendations listed in highest priority, the things you need to do first down to there's a lesser importance, and you'll have a game plan to move forward with. Now more than ever in this crazy season that we're in, you have the opportunity to make the sale online and to share the value of your brand in the digital marketplace. You have the opportunity to maximize your impact online. And I hope that you have been able to see today that you don't have to do it all alone. You don't have to do it all alone. Whether you walk away from today and you implement the 10 elements that I shared with you, or you feel like you want to go deeper and you want to book a strategy session or a video review, I am here to help you and serve you and hopefully encourage you along the way. I am going to leave a link in the chat box, both to Flowdesk, the contract shop, and then if you do want to book a strategy session or a video review, I will leave all of the links in the chat box here. And like I said before, if you are interested in booking any of those 2 new services with me, I'm opening doors to you first for the next 48 hours, and then I'll open that to everyone. So if you want to get on this and do this, sooner rather than later, make sure you check out those links. But I'm going to copy and paste those into the chat. And then now I just want to give you a chance, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat box as well. And we'll take the last few minutes here to answer and address any questions you have. Okay, so I just sent you over the links where you can get contracts, sign up for Flowdesk, book a customized video review, or book a one-to-one strategy session. So those are all in the chat box here. I will also include those as an email follow-up to this class. Yes, great, good. You see them there. Do you know if in the US we're legally required to have that little "this website uses cookies" pop-up box? I am not up to date on exactly when that particular pop-up box is required. I know that it is not legally required across every type of website, but there are certain sites that you will absolutely have to have that. I'm not up to date on the legal requirements of that. So I don't want to give you a specific answer. Font, apps, or Instagram format you can suggest. Yeah, so if you are you talking about where to purchase fonts, or maybe to find font systems? So with Instagram, yeah, with Instagram, there are a few embed tools that you can use. There's Light Widget, Snap Widget. You literally just create a profile or an account with them, and then they'll hook it up to a live feed, and you can embed it embed it on your site. Fonts, yeah, so and then if you are looking to purchase fonts, Creative Market has some really great fonts. If you are using Show It includes access to all of Google's free fonts. I would play around even on Pinterest. There are so many pins that you can find with really great font systems that, yeah, I think could work really well for a variety of brands. Does that answer your question, Nicole? Okay, good. Deanne, I'm just launching. Should I wait until after I'm launched before I reach out to you? You know, it really, either way. In some ways, it may be to your benefit to, yeah, reach out to me before you launch so that you can ensure that everything that you are launching is going to work the most for you, work the best for you. You don't want to launch and then feel like you have to change a lot of things just after you launched. So yeah, I would potentially reach out before you launched. But if you want to launch and see how things go and then reach out after that, that's just as fine as well. It really, yeah, whatever you think would serve you the most, Jan. Martha, yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. So good. Tanya, oh, this is a good question. Would you say that now is a good time to launch a website considering the COVID-19 situation, or would it be better to wait? Now is the time. Now is the time. Everyone is online right now, okay? Everyone has time to look online. Now more than ever, we're seeing how important it is to have a digital space. Now more than ever, it is so important for you to have a website that's doing its job. Okay, you must have a website now. You must have a website now. Do as much as you possibly can to have a website now. Okay, this is the time where people are going to be looking for you and looking for your services and looking for your content online. And if they can't find it, you're losing out on this really great window to reach them. So, I mean, I think, you know, obviously be sensitive, be wise, be mindful. Obviously, we're in a really unique season of life, and the world is just kind of crazy right now. But this is the time to maximize your website performance, to maximize the amount of impact you can have online digitally. So yes, if you are feeling like, you know, I don't know that I should launch right now because of what's happening in the world, yeah, I would just highly encourage you to be wise and to be considerate. But you know, you have great content, you have so much value to offer people, and there's no reason to not offer that to them now. Yeah, any other questions before we wrap it up today? I am going to send a replay of the masterclass to your inboxes here. And if you missed it or had to join late or leave early, then hopefully the replay will be helpful to you. Thank you for everything. This was gold. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It was such a joy for me to share each of these 10 tips with you today. I hope it was really helpful for you. And I hope that, yeah, as you move forward into the coming weeks and, yeah, work out your strategy, that you remember, yeah, these 10 essentials that are really going to make a difference for you in, yeah, increasing your profitability online. So I guess we're going to call it a day, and I will check in with you in your inboxes later on. Thank you all. I'll see you later.